Liftoff will start in T-minus 10 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We have ignition.
It's time! 17 seconds from Game 7 or from championship number 6. Open! Chicago with the lead! Harper got a piece of it. It comes off. The Chicago Bulls have won their 6th NBA championship.
Tying run at second, 2 out. Palmero over the head of Jenks. Uribe charges, throws, out! And the White Sox have won the World Series.
To the far side around the 8-yard line to Hester. Under it and to the middle with the 15 to the 20, breaks free to the 25 to the 30 to the outside. 40, midfield, 40, 30 in the coast, 20, 15, Hester 5. Oh! Touchdown!
Slowly toward Bryant. He will glove it toward Rizzo. It's in time. And the Chicago Cubs win the World Series.
What up? What up? What up? Welcome to Shawn and Maya in the morning on this TGI Mickey Ficky Friday. It's the weekend, baby. I'm your boy, the SuperBack, Shawn Sierra. Thanks for tuning in. If you're watching us on Facebook Live, well, then I guess you found us on Facebook. And if you're not following us on Facebook, what? Go to Facebook, type in Sports Zone Chicago, click the like button, and now you're following Sports Zone Chicago. Simple. But wait, there's more. Go to the show's page. Go to Shawn and Maya as well, Shawn and Maya in the morning. Like that page, so not only will you be following Sports Zone Chicago, but you'll be following Shawn and Maya in the morning as well. If you're watching us on our YouTube channel, excellent! And if you're not subscribed to our YouTube channel, for real? All right, listen. Go to YouTube, type in Sports Zone Chicago, click the subscribe button. Also, click the little bell, which is right next to it, and that'll let you know anytime a show from Sports Zone Chicago is going live. You get it? You got it? Good. Now, if you're watching this on our mobile app, all right now. But wait, if you didn't know we had a mobile app, you need to wake up and smell the coffee. Come on, baby. Come on, everybody and their mama know that. All right, so here, just go wherever you get your apps from. And it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter where you get your apps from, okay? Whether it's iTunes, Google Play, Amazon, Walmart, Kmart, 7-Eleven, Zayre, Zemsky, Macy, Montgomery Ward, Weebolts, Gold Blast, wherever you get them from. You go there, you type in Sports Zone Chicago, you download it, you take it with you on the go. So not only do you get Shawn and Maya in the morning 3 days a week, not only do you get our other live shows throughout the week, not only are they archived there like they are on Facebook and YouTube, but I'll tell you what, we give you a slew, and I mean a slew of articles, thanks to my man Clarence, Council the Third. Big up to Clarence for keeping you abreast of all articles Chicago sports related. Now, if you're watching this on our Roku channel, I like that kind of party, baby. And if you don't know, you better ask somebody. Yes, Sports Zone Chicago, we have our own Roku channel. So if you have a Roku television in the house, do us a favor. Download Sports Zone Chicago's channel or our tile and put it right there next to the big boys, next to Netflix, Hulu, Prime, Max, Apple Plus, Disney, Stars. Oh, another new episode of BMF is out today. That's what I'm talking about. Paramount Plus, Showtime. The Shy's coming back. Oh, man. For all you people who watch The Shy, it's coming back. I'm fired up. I didn't realize that. I saw a preview of it yesterday. Kevin's not coming back. Remember, he went to college. I forgot where he went to school for gaming. But he's back. He's not back on the show. So I'm excited to see where it starts May 10th, I want to say. So if you're a follower of The Shy, and then Papa's going to be, you remember his dad was killed. So, yeah, interesting. But anyway, I digress. Put Sports Zone Chicago's channel right there on your big screen, and you can watch us on your 55, 65, 75, 85-inch screen, whatever you got. Hell, we're on the big screen, right? Mickey Ficky now. You can also tweet the show. Tweet us at Sports Zone Shy. That's CHI at Sports Zone Shy. Now, if you want to follow me, just me personally online, you want to know, let me tell you what I did. I made it nice and easy for you folks. Nice and easy. One handle for Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, and TikTok. All one handle at the Shawn Sierra. Want to follow my lovely co-host Maya Kai? You can follow her on Facebook and Twitter at the Sports Chica. If you want to follow her on Instagram because you're an IG and you do it just for the gram, we'll just follow her at Maya_Akai. It's MAYA_AKAI. Man, the chat is lit this morning. Lord have mercy. I like this kind of party, baby. I like this kind of party, baby. That's what I'm talking about. Yes. Let's see who's in the chat. My man, Armando Emeterio, Lara Jr., my man Jr. He was one of my personal protectors. He was one of my guards when I played with the Chargers. So my guy Jr. is in the chat as always earlier. Jay Grizz in the morning. Man, he's up. You up early. You up with Adam earlier. Cornelius Squalls in the Mickey Ficky house. What's up, Sports Zoners? That's what I'm talking about. Yes. He goes, you checked out Sky's draft pick, Britta Maxwell. She looks as good as Caitlin Clark. To me, they should be in the running this year. Yes, that's her thing. She's a dead-eye three-point shooter. So you kick it down low to Cardoso, to Chi-Town Barbie. They want to collapse. Boom, kick it out to her. Hit a three. Keep it moving. That's simple. Oh, yeah, my man Luis Mejia. Good morning, Papa Rise and Grind. Thank you for tuning in. I appreciate it. Oh, Mr. Shorty's in the house. What up, Shorty? That's what I'm talking about. Be Smooth up in the house. What's up, buddy? How are you? Yo, King Booker World is here. That's what I'm talking about. Less than a week away for the NFL draft. Yes, we are, Doctor. Yes, we are. Did I say hi to Jay Grizz? I think I did. If not, what up, Jay Grizz? AC Adam in this mother Hubbard. Hell yeah. Michelle Walls and Mickey Vicky, TGIF mode, sports owners. I hope you're all right from doing burpees, SuperBack. Greg, man, let me tell you. So this was supposed to be a single and individual workout. 50 wall balls, lateral box jump, burpee box jump overs. So you had to do 50. So you had to do a burpee, hop up onto the box, hop over, do another burpee, hop, but laterally. You couldn't face the box. You had to be your side. It was for 3 rounds. You had a 20-minute cap. And I'm like, first of all, I ain't getting this shit done in 20 minutes. Second of all, I'm not doing 150 burpees. Time's going to run out. And so then a coach was like, well, if you want to partner it, you could do it. I was like, yes, we'll partner. So I got it. So I ended up doing half. I did half of them. The other guy did the other half. Still, well, actually, I did more than half. I did 80 burpees because he started with the wall balls. It's crazy, but I ended up doing 80 burpees this morning. And for any of you who don't know, I freaking hate burpees. They are the stupidest thing ever created. So I hated them. But I digress. My girl, Levette Lee's in the house. Good morning, Mama. Thank you for tuning in. I appreciate it. Man, listen, I don't know a lot about a lot, but I do know this. More of the usual suspect chiming in. So goes on. And man, let me tell you something. We have a phenomenal show, baby. Phenomenal. At the bottom of the hour, which is why we got to get to the top of the morning quick. At the bottom of the hour, we have Annie Costable from the Chicago Sun-Times. She covers the Chicago Sky. And we're going to talk to her. Man, we have a lot to talk about. So unfortunately for Annie, for us, I should say, and Annie said she's a little hoarse. She lost her voice a little bit. So I'm not going to keep her the whole 20 minutes, 30 minutes, only about 10 or 15 minute segment because her voice is a little, I know, I hate when that happens. But I'm going to ask her as many questions as I can. All right. I'm going to talk to her, get as many questions into her as I can in that 10 to 15 minutes. Yeah. Bro, that 80 burpees sucked, Luis. Let me tell you. Beer burpees. My man Plank's in the house. So that's at 9:30. We have Annie Costable. Then at 10 o'clock, my man Fred Pfeiffer for the Big Red Bus, podcast. We're talking Bulls basketball. The Bulls, you'll see, the Bulls are in the second play-in game tonight. Man, you see why I'm decked out in my Bulls gear. I'm fired up, baby. I'm fired up. Look at it. Woo-wee. Yeah, I like this kind of party. So I'm fired up. You're a damn fool. I had some pancakes and I burped twice. Oh, you're out of control. Out of freaking control. Oh, but that's the lineup, baby. 9:30, Anna Costable from the Chicago Sun-Times talking Chicago Sky with us. And then at 10 o'clock, Fred Pfeiffer from the Big Red Bus talking Bulls basketball. Then at 10:30, we're going to talk Bears. We're going to talk Sox in there somewhere. Somehow, some way, keep coming up with funky ass like every single day. Shorty, you know it. You know it, Shorty. And you have to do it this way. Sorry. You got to do it this way just to show it's official. You know what I mean? Like, you got to show Muggs it's official. Like, you didn't get this, well, it doesn't matter where you got it, but like this ain't a knockoff. This is official. Like, you could have got it at the Garra or La Garra or, off the back of a truck, but it's got to have the sticker so you know you're official. With my old school shooting jersey on, you know it, baby. That's what I'm talking about. Hoping Kobe White can have another phenomenal shooting day today as he did on Wednesday over the Hawks. So we're going to see. I'm going to talk about that. But, guys, let's get to it, baby. You know how we do the first segment of every show. It's called Top of the Morning.
It won't come just when you want it.
Top of the morning to you. Top of the morning to you. Top of the morning to you.
Woo-woo. First, top of the morning topic. Well, let's get to it. Let's do this. Yeah, that's a rough one. That's a rough one. What a way to end the season. Man, the Blackhawks, they fall to the LA Kings 5-4 in overtime out in Tinseltown. This said an overtime loss. They end the season with a 23-53-6 record, 52 points on the season for them. Soderblom stopped 30-35 shots. Reichel, Johnson, Anderson, and Donato all lit the lamp for the Blackhawks. A lot of it is expected. A lot more is expected of this team next year. Yeah, they're getting talent back. They're going to be getting talent. They just signed the young man from University of Michigan who scored on his first attempt the other day. So things are looking up. So it was a frustrating year. Remember, Connor Bedard broke his jaw. Yeah, it was tough. It was tough, but you know what? I think the future looks pretty good for our Blackhawks. All right. Well, the next. Did we talk about that? Oh, they played Wednesday. Damn, Steve-O, could you put that flyer back up there? The Bulls, the one that we had for the Bulls recap. Because they played Wednesday. So we didn't even talk about that, did we? Damn it. Anyway, the next top of the morning topic, the Bulls, baby. Bulls beat the Atlanta Hawks 131-116 to advance to the second round of the play-in tournament. Kobe White led the way with 42 points, 9 boards, 6 assists. He was 3 for 7 from beyond the arc. The walking double-double himself, Nikola Vucevic, 24 points, 13 boards. DeRozan, 22 points, 6 boards, 9 assists. Thank you, sir. And with that win, the Bulls. Next top of the morning topic, the Bulls travel to the 305 to face the Miami Heat. Winner of this game will be the number 8 seed and face the number 1 seed, the Boston Celtics, in the first round of the playoffs. Oh, thank you. Tip-off is at 5 p.m. Central, ESPN, or you can listen to it on their flagship station, 670 a.m. Big news. The Heat will be without their superstar Jimmy Butler, who is out with an MCL injury. So this ups the chances of the Bulls winning. I already saw some of you guys in the chat. I think Booker World said the Bulls are going to win. They got a much better shot. They have a much better shot to get destroyed by Boston in the first round of the playoffs. But it's okay. That's fine. It's okay, man. It's okay, man. That's fine. This is just what the boss wants. Get it, man. If they get into the playoffs, they won't even say the postseason. They'll say, "Wow, we were a playoff team." Unbelievable. But on a special Friday, it is a special Friday. Special Friday. So let's bring her in.
Get down, little mama. 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 Get down, little mama.
Maya.
Oh, didn't see this one coming, did you?
That was a curveball.
There you go. Yes. Oh, you're talking the Bulls. I like it. Kobe White.
Kobe White was on fire. Hope he stays on fire.
Long overdue. This is long overdue. So
yeah,
that was I'm looking forward tonight. I wish Jimmy was playing, but either way, doesn't matter.
Yeah, it makes it a lot easier for us. But you know what? No one gives a damn about us when our guys are hurt. So you know what? C'est la vie.
Right. C'est la vie. Got to roll with it. That's what it is. But hey.
Maya's getting all the love. Brian's like, "Good morning, Maya." Mr. Shorty, Maya.
Good morning. I know.
Look at my son. My goodness, the sports Chica's here. We're trying to send you in the weekend, right, baby? That's what I'm talking about. Jay Grizz.
I'm trying to throw out that good mojo so that the Bulls can win. I'm like, hey, let me show up and talk about this. Let's talk some good stuff. So yes. Good morning, everybody. Yes, it's been a while. Yes.
Cornelius Plank says, "Good morning, Maya Junior." King Book of World, like Maya salute.
I need to come more often because this is great.
Oh, she loves the attention. She loves it.
Even the therapist needs a little bit of affirmation here. I'm kind of liking this right now.
Yeah. So let's finish up with a couple more because we got Andy Constable coming on at 9:30 talking Sky. And I know unfortunately she said her voice is a little hoarse. So I was like, all right, I'll only keep it like 10 or 15 minutes because usually I'll keep it 20 minutes. But, I was happy to get her because she's been busy. Oh, girl's been busy. And I ain't mad at her. Boy, at the draft, at the post-draft. Whew.
It's like if everybody who has been hard and fast with the WNBA all this time, finally your moment has come, where what you're doing, all the work you put in can be valued and you really get to do some great stuff. So, hey, it's great to hear. It's too bad it's a couple years short of when the Sky actually won, but either way, you got to take it. It's a new day. So I'm excited to talk to her.
Likewise. The next top of the morning topic, the Cubs. The Cubs game with the Marlins was postponed yesterday due to rain. It will be made up tomorrow as part of a doubleheader with the Marlins. Tim Anderson's in town. Jake Berger's in town. All right. And so today the Cubs will host the Marlins at Wrigley Field. First pitch is 1:20. You can catch that game on Marquee or listen to it on their flagship, 6:70 a.m. AJ Puck goes for the Marlins. He's 0-4 with a 5.91 ERA. Going up against Jameson Taillon. He's making his first of the year for the Cubs. The White Sox, they travel to Philly for a weekend set against the Phillies. All right, first pitch is 5:40 tonight on Central Time. You can see that on NBC Sports Chicago. Or you can catch it on their flagship AM 1000. Garrett Crochet's on the bump for the White Sox. He's 1-2 with a 3.57 ERA going up against Spencer Turnbull. He's 1-0 with a 1.8 ERA. I wanted to then this next top of the morning topic. I am so fired up about this. Wait, wrong one. I am so fired up about this. Caitlin Clark is nearing a deal with Nike that is going to pay her more than $10 million a year. She's going to have her own signature shoe, which is great. I love it. Especially since her 4-year contract with the Sky or with the Fever is only not even it's $338,000. But she's part of that class, and we're going to talk to Annie at the bottom of the hour. She's part of that class, Maya, that could be the economic reviver of this thing where they start making more money. People are going to want to see them. They're going to want
it's
they have the star power, the name. More people are going to go. We're going to talk to Andy about that game here with the Fever. Might be moving to Chicago, to the UC, I should say.
yeah. And actually, I got my alert from the Iowa alumni. Yes, Hawkeye here. Enjoyed every moment of this, by the way. Saying, hey guys, we got to get our tickets because everything is selling really fast. Like, just because of the Fever from the play Sky is the game that we're talking about. So like, hey, if you want tickets to this game, we have to move and do it. I mean, it isn't just Indiana held out their season, but every now town that she's going to, these games are selling out. This is fantastic.
Yes.
Besides all of the drama that people want to keep drumming up with it, and there's some credence to it. I understand. But this is what the WNBA has needed like forever. It is what it is. And not only is she making money, that means everybody else in the WNBA finally get to make money. So anybody who is upset about this, I hope they can step back and be like, but hold up, we now have endorsement deals and we can get paid more money, more salary. So if you're mad, get over it and look at the bigger picture.
Oh, if you're mad, get your ass to the stadium. That's the problem. So don't blame. I'm tired of those memes. They've been losing $10 million a year. All right, get your little funky self, complaining self, get off Twitter, get to the stadium, buy tickets, go see your local WNBA team, go get some, or if you don't have a WNBA team around you, buy some swag, buy some jerseys, get a star, get a person that you want who you want to represent, wear the Sky hat, wear the Fever hat, the Liberty hat, do something. All right, give them an influx of cash if you want these ladies' salaries to go up. So don't sit there and just complain about it and bitch and moan. Do something about it. All right. Get there.
But it was more than just selling out the stadiums. It was like they really weren't getting the TV money. They weren't getting.
But that's because they're not selling out the stadium.
Right. So it's kind of like there were things that needed to happen just beyond just selling out that could get them to that next level. And now they have it. So it's an exciting time. I mean, I'm going to be biased just because of who she comes from. I mean, I'm going to be biased, even though, by the way, I know people who refed her in high school and they said, to be honest, they're like, she's a really nice person. She's always been a hard worker. They're like, so what you see isn't just, it got embellished a little too much. I get how people were kind of over it to a degree. And I've had some real candid conversations with people about this. And I wouldn't disagree with some of the things that people think, but it is what it is. Every now and then there's a GOAT who comes along. And for instance, Jordan changed the game for what it's worth. You know what I'm saying? From an endorsement standpoint, he was the guy that got people to make money. So she's that person who's making money for the WNBA. She's that person that's changing that trajectory. So it comes, and I feel bad for her because I feel like the pressure she's under, I wouldn't want it. The expectations, I wouldn't want it. I mean, it's not, she can't even really enjoy it because all these expectations now are stacked so heavy on her. So, but of course the Hawkeye fever is there, we're there. So
well, you guys travel you guys are travel really, really well. So that if they do move it, man, there's gonna have a huge Hawkeye contingency at the United Center if it actually gets changed.
You could have a game, and actually Iowa alumni in Illinois, like we have like 3 alumni like branches here, and literally, but we travel. You could have a game in Japan. I'm like, you look up and be like, oh, well, there's way more black and gold here than we thought there would be. I mean, and that's been like that forever. It isn't just her. It's football was always the thing that was the caveat, so to speak. But no, Iowa people they will follow her everywhere. Our alumni is nationwide. So yeah, it's places are selling out. And for whatever reason, I don't care how you feel about it, take it and run with it. That's what I'm just saying. Make the most of it. Ladies, go get your money because finally somebody's going to want to give you endorsement money. She's coming into the WNBA making $5 million in endorsement deals. She already had Xfinity, State Farm, and some other investment company at her belt. And now this Nike deal, this is like historic within its own right.
It's going to be over $10 million. Sham Sharanya was saying, and she has her own signature shoe. So it's going to be awesome for her. But listen, we got to take a quick break because on the other side of the break, we're going to welcome Annie Costabile from the Chicago Sun-Times and continue this Chicago Sky talk, this WNBA talk, because it is. But I'm telling you, I could not be happier for these young ladies. It's like you said, it's long overdue, and you just needed that one because they're playing better than her, but the way she has changed the game. Okay, that is the thing. She's that dude, all right, or she's that dudette, and she's really doing it because she's about to bring a whole influx of money to all these people. So when Diana Taurasi and those like, oh, reality's going to hit, I'm like, yeah, I mean, reality might hit, but let's keep it real. Let's embrace. They should embrace her because following her very closely is a whole bunch of money. There might be some TV deals, maybe some more big corporate sponsors, and what that means, more salary, bigger salary. So we're going to talk to Annie Kospel on the other side. So don't go anywhere, folks. Keep it locked right here. Shawn and Maya in the morning on Sports Zone Chicago.
Hey, it's your boy, the SuperBack, Shawn Sierra, and be sure to follow Sports Zone Chicago on all social media platforms, on Facebook, Instagram, and our Roku channel. You can find us at Sports Zone Chicago, and on Twitter, we are at Sports Zone Shy. Also, be sure to download our mobile app so you can take Sports Zone Chicago with you on the go.
Time out. How are you feeling right now? Happy? Excited? Angry? Overwhelmed? One of the best things you can do for your mind health is to name what you're feeling. It can sharpen your awareness and help you talk about your feelings with someone you trust. Here are 3 questions to ask yourself. Where are your thoughts right now? In the past, the present, the future? Do you notice any sensations in your body? Is your heart beating fast? Is there a flutter in your stomach? Or are you fully relaxed? What do you need right now? Time with others? Time to yourself? Remember, there's power in this awareness. So find ways to identify what you're feeling today.
Hi, guys. Hey. Hi, Megan. Hey, Jessica. Megan, you're a tramp. Brian Fitch told me you guys made out. Everybody knows. He said your breath smells like garbage. And he almost puked. He says you're the most desperate girl he knows, besides your mom. How many boyfriends does she have anyway? Lots? Your makeup makes you look like a clown. That zit is huge, zit face.
Hey, bud, what you doing?
I'm playing with cars.
Cars? Can you show me what a car does? Whoa, 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 whoa. Hold on a second. First of all, this is a school zone. So you need to put down your cell phone, stop texting, and let's get to driving. Now you're coming up to a stop sign, right? You need to slow down and stop before you hit that Y line. I want you to look left, right, left. You don't want to get hit by a car going on your left, and to your right to make sure you don't get sideswiped by a guy coming from your right. You're coming, and you see a crosswalk. You better slow your horses down, because the #1 rule of driving is always yield to pedestrians. Now stop, pull over, and you are done driving. Gosh, what do they teach you kids in school nowadays?
Checks the shot clock. Foreman staying right with her. Off the spin, the help comes and one! Shotzi, yes. Clark. First step to the side over Hemingway, and that's her third already.
Things for Iowa in this game is to be able to secure defensive boards. LSU, an outstanding offensive rebounding team. Clark connects.
Here's Clark. Clark pulls up, another deep one. Is good!
Welcome back to Shawn and Maya in the morning on Sports Zone Chicago. Those clips courtesy of ESPN. That was the NCAA tournament. Newest Chicago Sky. Okay. Angel Reese, Chi-Town Barbie, she's called now. She's like, I need help. Like, I got you, girl. I got you. You ain't Bayou Barbie no more. You're Chi-Town Barbie. That's what we're talking about. As she's taking on Caitlin Clark, the girl we were just talking about, who's really going to changing the face of the trajectory, I would say, of the WNBA. Our first guest today is she covers the Sky for the Chicago Sun-Times. You can find her on Twitter at Annie Costable. Guys, just welcome to Shawn and Maya, Annie Costable. Annie, good morning. How are you?
Hi, guys. I told Shawn I lost my voice. I'm a little sick after the draft, but we're doing good.
Probably, Annie, for you, was that probably the most electric and funnest drafts you ever covered?
Oh, yeah, without question. I think the energy from the fans, but also from the players was bar none the most intense of any draft I've covered. And that's been a limited number. So I don't know how much that's saying, but for sure, it was definitely the most energetic draft I've ever covered.
Well, you should have stayed out partying until 3:00 in the morning in New York City.
Oh, no partying for me. I was working until like 2 a.m. and then up again the next day at 9. So no partying from me, but definitely was a good time.
That's awesome. So talk to us. How excited are you? The whole city is up. All right, about the twin towers they got. We got Camila Cardoso. I really love her, and now Chi-Town Barbie. I love her too. There's a lot of smack talk between them, and man, they got to meet each other and they loved it. And Camila even said, man, she goes, she's a great player. I'm a great player. No one's gonna get rebounds on us. How excited are you moving forward with these two girls, and not just their talent, but their gravitas, their stardom coming to the city as well?
Yeah, I think the really cool thing about this draft class, or something that this draft class has helped the larger audience recognize, is that women can be competitive without it being toxic. Like, I think Angel posted something maybe yesterday about like, we like love each other when we're hanging out. Like she said, she's like, one of the things I love the most about the draft was just getting able to hang out with my peers. She's like, when we're on the court, we're competitors for sure, but we're friends. Like when Caitlin was drafted, people stood up from the where the players were sitting with their families. But Angel was one of the first players to stand up. And there was only a few players who stood up and clapped. And I'm not saying that was like a lack of support from her peers. I'm just saying Angel stood up and cheered when Caitlin was drafted #1 overall. Like these women like really love and support each other. So anyways, that's something that I'm really excited about with this class, is seeing that competition between them carry to the WNBA. But then also, here in Chicago, getting Camila and Angel, these were this guy's top 2 targets. They got exactly what they wanted, and they both are really exciting players. Now, I think the thing, if you guys read, I gave this guy a B-.
Yeah.
Judging the draft class. And the reason for that is bringing in Angel and Camila is going to do so much just by drafting them. Like if you've seen their social media has skyrocketed.
Yep.
I haven't checked with them on ticket sales and jersey sales, but I would guess that those are doing really well at the moment. So just that alone is a win, right? But then you think about the potential of these two players, and it's high. What they can bring to this franchise, what they could mean to this franchise for a long time. The potential is there, but the reason for the B- is there's a lot of developing that has to happen. This is not a draft that immediately puts the Sky back in, title contention by any means. Like this is still going to be a season where a lot of work needs to be made. A lot of steps need to be taken by ownership. So this is still very much a rebuild season. It's just great that they have powerhouse names now to do it, because if you look at the roster as it's currently constructed without Angel and Camila, they really don't have a franchise star. Of course, Dana Evans has definitely put herself in a position to maybe earn that, but she has yet to skyrocket as we've seen past franchise stars do. So Angel and Camila, they just give them attention that they were desperately needing after trading Kalia.
And there was a big transition for the Sky, let's say, over the last 2 years. You saw the exit of, a coach who was, head coach in Wade, and also the GM. So, kind of crafting those. But once they won, and obviously, bringing in Candace Parker was a big part. Okay, but then she departs. So then I think for a lot of Sky fans, what became a question mark wasn't just, okay, so when Copper left, everyone kind of scratched their heads like, so what are we building around? The Shields. When you lost these pieces that you felt like they could be building on. So the question became, so where are we going? Clearly, you're in rebuild mode. Some people probably felt premature, just given how long it took to get to the point of where they are. So you're right. You talk about Evans. It is a rebuild mode. But what other pieces do you think they can? Okay, let's see. In the post, pretty solid. You got that. But beyond that, what do you think they need to add if they go into free agency to bring something in?
I think it's too early to even really say what they need to bring in free agency because we haven't seen what this team is doing and what this team can do together, what steps Dana's going to take, how Marina improves this year. But I think what they need, what every team needs, this is something Candace has said, something I've learned from her, is every team needs that veteran, that star veteran player that's been there, that
Yes.
that's what it takes to win a championship, that has been through the fire essentially. And so that's what the Sky are missing on this team. They have a lot of role players, but they don't have a solidified star. They just don't. And that's not to say, again, that Dana can't take a step this year. That's not to say that Marina won't take a step this year. But as it currently stands, they do not have a solidified star. So depending on how this season goes this year, that's definitely what they're going to have to attract in free agency. And the only way that they're going to do that is if they take major steps as far as investment into that practice facility goes.
Okay. That's fair. I mean, I think this is
Sorry.
Well, no, I do agree with the veteran piece. I mean, I think, in watching this guy and covering him over time, you saw you had that moment when they had Deladon and you were like, okay, and there are pieces around it, but it just wasn't the right fit. I think what I find a lot of love affair with, so with the Sky, so Allie Quigley, love her. Went to the same high school, great girl, great family, loved him. So you saw these pieces come together for them finally. And it was, you're right, once they inserted Candace Parker, it was like the piece that was missing that kind of made everything, move forward. So I do believe almost with any sport you talk about, having that veteran presence is so important. The question will be where they'll be able to get that from. And you're right. There are some players that I think developmentally were good. It's like, you gotta look at it this way too. Now that they have stronger post play, this in turn will make things easier for Dana and Marina because obviously the play they're going to get from Cardoso and obviously Reese. So that definitely spreads the floor in a way, let's be honest, that even when they had Parker, it was a little different. So it'll be interesting to see how this just plays out within one season, even if they don't add a lot to the mix immediately.
Yeah, no, absolutely. But I think the thing too about bringing Candace in, Candace joined a team with certified stars like Courtney Vandersloot and Allie Quigley were stars in their own right. Diamond was coming off of a all-star season, that team was primed and ready for Candace to come in. That's the only reason she joined. This team has none of that. I think 2 all-stars, Diamond and Elizabeth Williams. I would have to go through the roster. So this team needs multiple pieces and multiple players to take steps forward.
So yeah, but how about we're always forgetting Brenna Maxwell. She is one heck of a 3-point shooter, and I think that I do think you're right that these girls need to be developed. I think Carmela needs to lose a little weight, get a little more muscle because she's strong. She's strong. We just need it tight, and she can her and Candace. I mean, her and Angel will be able to dominate down low. But now you have somebody out there who, when you want to collapse, watch out. You hit it to Brenna Miller or Maxwell, excuse me, and she can light it up. And I think that's a good thing. How soon do you think that before these girls can be a star or can be stars? I'm talking Camilla and Angel Reese. How long before you think these young ladies can be stars? Because they're coming with a pedigree. All right, that's one of the things that really, really excited me about them is they're both national champions. They both understand how to win that last game of the year. Not one, both of them. Okay.
Yeah.
How soon do you think before these girls can really start making an impact in the WNBA?
I think that's a really hard question to answer because we know that the jump from the college game to the pro game is so stark. but both of them were coached by elite coaches, specifically Dawn Staley. We know that she has a pedigree of preparing her players for the league, unlike, arguably any other coach. Maybe obviously Coach Vivian Stringer needs to be in there too. There's a number of other coaches, but currently Dawn is preparing her players unlike anybody else. And so I think it's hard to say how immediate that impact will be. I think what we'll see immediately is obviously the star power impact the Sky right away. And then from there, it's really gonna hinge upon training camp. This is not a roster that's just gonna let these girls come in and take their starting spots. We've got Elizabeth Williams, Izzy Harrison, Bree Turner, Anya Nwere. Like, we've got so many players that have spots on this roster, and they're not going to give them up. So I think Angel and Camilla's impact is really going to hinge on how they elevate their game. And that's not to say that they won't. Clearly, as you said, these are two championship caliber players. The expectation is that they will. We'll just, I guess, have to see how long that takes. But I think we'll definitely see them, obviously, in the lineup this year. We could see them in the starting lineup this year for sure. But again, both of them have improvements to make to their game.
Guys, we're talking with Annie Constable. She covers the Chicago Sky for the Chicago Sun-Times. We're talking Sky basketball here on Shawn and Maya in the morning on Sports Zone Chicago. I was taken a little back by your answer, and the reason is this. They're both coming from two phenomenal coaches. You come from Dawn Staley, who demands the best out of you. Okay, and this is Camila Cardozo, and then you're coming from Kim Mulkey, who's another one who demands the best out of you. And now they're both coming to Teresa Witherspoon, who played under Kim Mulkey, who demands the best out of you. How seamless is that going to be? Because they're both coming from demanding coaches, and the demanding coaches from college got the best out of them. How seamless do you think it'll be for Teresa Witherspoon to get the best out of them? Because she, if you remember her, you guys remember her stint in pro basketball, she's tough. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. She is tough as nails. And that's what she's going to continue to impart in these young ladies, is to be tough. How soon do you see, do you see this, how seamless do you see that transition going from those two coaches to Teresa?
Yeah, I think these two draft picks were very, very intentional. These were exactly the players that Teresa and Jeff Pagliocca wanted because of everything that you just described, their mental approach to the game, who coached them previously, and what they could bring to this team. I just don't think any rookie, it's just never as seamless is not what it is. Even if they make it look seamless, it's not seamless. Like, this is the college game to the pros, and Teresa, no doubt, that's her job, is going to be to get the most out of these players, and no one's saying that she won't. But when it comes to the time it'll take for them to make an impact on this team, I think it would be a little naive to say that they're going to come in and have an immediate impact, especially considering the veterans that are on this team. I think even when you look at Caitlin Clark, like, there's a reason there's only one MVP and Rookie of the Year in this league, Candace Parker. Only one in the history of this league in 27 years. There's a reason for that. So let's not forget that, like, again, no matter who you are, no matter how many titles you have, it's not easy to go from the pros or from the college game to the pros. And that's not saying that jump isn't eventually made. Look at all these pros that have made that jump. It's going to happen. Seamless, I just don't know if that's the word I would personally use.
No, I'd have to agree. There's going to be that adjustment no matter what. Just like we talk about this, in regards to when, males have to transition to the sport. There is obviously now moving from, which I have to say, these last couple of years in college women's basketball has been exceptional talent. I'm actually excited about the fact that we're having UCLA and USC come into the Big Ten. I love Juice Watson. I'm just going to be, women's basketball has taken this way that, it's grown exponentially. I think the last 6 to 7 years. So the level of talent is only getting better every year. So yes, they are playing like this tournament playoff, like, okay, you're playing people you're going to see in the pros. So I do believe that legitimately experience. The difference is now you got people on teams together that were playing separately, but now they're together, which changes that dynamic. So there has to be that adjustment to the speed of the game, the matchups, a lot of different things that go into it. So even for Caitlin, and I was gonna carry my banner for her. I feel bad for her because the expectations of what people think she's gonna do when she comes into WNBA, she has a target on her back for lots of reasons, and people are gonna come for her hard. It's not gonna be an easy game for her. It's not. But I do think she's going to excel and step up, but it's going to take time, just like it with every player you watch in the NBA. I think the only player I ever watched come into the NBA and was like spot on day one was LeBron. All haters, get over it. When he came out of high school, like just playing at that level. Even Kobe, when he came out of high school to the Lakers,
struggled,
but the coach also did play him, so it's a different beast. The Cavaliers were waiting for LeBron. So it's just a different makeup. And it's not seamless. The speed, just the game itself, how you're going to be coached differently. Like, I'll be honest, Lisa Blunder is a great coach at Iowa, but she's not Don Staley. She's not Lisa Mulkey. So now you got a different style of coach that you have to adjust to. Different players, different people have to adjust accordingly. So the same thing applies for the Sky. It's different. They're not getting the coaches that they had at that college level, which are superior coaches that could be coached in the WNBA without a doubt. So
yeah, I think the other interesting thing about these two bigs is just their lack of a 3-point game, and that's not to say that can't be can't be developed. But we're seeing the game evolve to a more positionless style of play, and so when you bring in two players like this who really dominate in the paint, how are you going to help their game expand to the perimeter? And that's something that Jeff talked about with both of them that they are going to do. So again, when you think about adding that layer to their game, that's not going to happen overnight. That's not going to be something immediate. I think what's interesting with these two players too is this gives the Sky some room to play with lineups depending on who you're matching up against. They could go big with Camilla. They could spread the floor with different bigs that they brought in, Bree Turner, obviously Elizabeth Williams, Izzy Harrison, Izzy and Bree both can shoot from outside. So I think it just depends on, again, who they're going up against and how much they really do want to give Angel and Camilla, the minutes to develop this year. Like, is it going to be focused in practice, or are you going to give them the opportunity to try and fail and get this run in this year? But if you do that, then it's like these vets you brought in, what goes on there? So there's so many questions that will not be able to be answered until we get to training camp.
Guys, we're on with Annie Constable, who covers the Sky for the Chicago Sun-Times. One more question before we let her go. We're talking Sky basketball here on Shawn and Maya in the morning on Sports Zone Chicago. Talk to me. Maya had mentioned this earlier, and then it clicked with me. Talk to me about how it benefits now. Which is 3 years you have to wait to enter the WNBA draft. So now you're getting young ladies who have 3 years of college, unlike the men who probably the stars in high school. All right, you're on your AAU team. They're not working on the fundamentals. You're not really working on defense most of the time. You're 1 year in college, and now you're in the NBA, and they don't have time to develop you in the NBA. But now you got girls who are staying 3 and 4 years in college, okay, and you're coming into the WNBA a lot more fundamentally sound. Right, your body, you've grown into your body a lot. How high is that floor going to be in the next couple of years as these more and more talented young ladies are forced to wait 3 years and come into the WNBA a lot more fundamentally sound and possibly skilled and with a much better basketball IQ because they're being coached at the college level?
Yeah, to be honest, my opinion about that is that really they have no option, to be honest, because we know there's only 12 teams in the WNBA with 12 roster spots. So even if like let's be real, I mean, Juju arguably could come out and develop under a pro coach, but she wouldn't, because unfortunately, even as talented as she is, the talent that exists in the W already, there's not a lot of space to give up a roster spot to someone. And I'm using the NBA as an example. A lot of times guys come out and they do opt to develop under like the pro system. They want to come out and they want to be developed by a professional coaching staff. Women players don't have that luxury because there just isn't the room for them. So, I don't really know if I want to call that a benefit, because to me, I would love to see the game at a place where, like, if we do see an elite caliber player, she can come out after her freshman, sophomore year if she chooses to, if she's ready to, like that to me is the mark. Like that's where I want to see the game go. So, I don't know if that's the answer you were necessarily looking for, but that's how I feel about that topic.
No, I wanted your honest opinion. It's different from mine. That's cool.
It's about accommodation. There's 12 teams. They're talking about expanding 2 more by 2026 or 28, they said, which with this season, with the success, that's highly, plausible that it could happen within 2 years if this course stays where it is. The other thing that makes the NBA, WNBA so different than the NBA is the season is over the summer. So there is no ability to even have like a G League, a developmental league, so to speak. It's because it's summer and then it's college basketball. You know what I mean? So it's just not set up to be that kind of, league where you can actually have this excess and bring people in. But because of the shift with NIL, you're going to have more players that are going to be willing to stay out for 3 to 4 years because it could be advantageous for them at this point, to do so. So, I mean, unfortunately, I think until we can get up to having 20 teams, give or take, players are probably going to just have to stay longer because logistically it's not there to accommodate more than what it can do right now.
Right. Exactly. That's exactly what I was saying. And I agree with that. It's not possible. It's not possible for players to come out early and have a roster spot. Like it's just not going to happen. And if it does, then again, you're looking at how that's impacting, maybe vets who've been in this league again forever, and not to say that the hierarchy doesn't shift. It's like young players come in, and that does mean like vets age out. But I'm just saying, as it currently stands, there's not space for these young players to come in and take their time and develop. And then you also think about the way that the college game runs right into the W season. These players don't have any runway to work with. They're coming straight from their collegiate season into the WNBA. And that's why another reason why we see a lot of rookies get cut, because there's just not that time to develop. So they get cut and then they come back the next year because they have that entire year to develop, to go overseas, to play professionally. Well, guess what? In the NBA, they have the entire summer and fall to get ready for their rookie season.
Right.
So it's like the women are in a totally different, food chain than the men are. And honestly, it's like, that's a whole nother conversation for another day.
Annie, we got to have you back because, this was awesome. Do us a favor before you go. Let everyone know where they can find you and your work online and in the paper.
Yeah, you guys could read our Sky coverage at the ChicagoSunTimes.com. We love when you subscribe, so make sure you hit that subscription button. It's free. I know people get like wigged out and think maybe it's not. It's totally free. All you got to do is give your email, and then you could send us to junk mail. Like, send us to junk mail. As long as you're subscribing, we're happy.
We're not sending you the junk, Annie. We're not doing that.
Beyond that, you can follow
Nobody
me.
puts Annie in the junk mail.
Thank you. Please don't put me in the junk mail. I'm just saying, if you want to, you could. But once we got your subscription, then you could read all our stuff for free. But anyways, you can follow me on Twitter, Instagram. I'm on TikTok too, at Annie Costavos. So
cool. See, I still go, and I'm tactile, so I got to get my newspaper every day. I can't. Okay, I got to hold it. Yeah. I got all my papers for the week.
Proud of this. I was so proud of our draft coverage. So make sure you guys check out all of our coverage. It's great.
You guys did an awesome job. Hey, we got to have you back on soon. There's a lot more questions I have for you, and we'll look forward to having you back very soon.
Yeah, thanks guys so much. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Likewise. Have a great weekend. We'll talk. Bye now.
Bye.
Oh, sorry. She got out so quick. Whoa. Hey, listen, we got to take a quick break.
He was ready.
Yeah. We got to take a quick break, and on the other side of the break, we're going to welcome Fred Pfeiffer. But you decked out, don't you, Fred? You see me in my new Bulls hat, my old school shooting jersey. I'm ready for tonight, baby. I'm ready for the Bulls to beat the Heat and get destroyed by the Celtics. Well, we'll talk about that later.
Okay. Anyway. Okay. Are we being a little negative energy? What?
Being realistic. That's a 9 seed against the 1. Let's do it. Go. Keep it locked right here, folks. Shawn and Maya in the morning on Sports Zone Chicago.
Hey, it's your boy, the SuperBack, Shawn Sierra, and be sure to follow Sports Zone Chicago on all social media platforms on Facebook, Instagram, and our Roku channel. You can find us at Sports Zone Chicago, and on Twitter, we are at Sports Zone Shy. Also, be sure to download our mobile app so you can take Sports Zone Chicago with you on the go.
Yeah, hello. I'm really not sure if this is what you all do, but I really don't have anywhere else to turn.
Hi. I don't even know why I'm calling right now. I'm sorry. My thoughts are going a mile a minute.
My kids are out of state. My buddies from the Army are all gone now. I'm really alone.
I left the service last year. My mom just passed away a few months ago. I miss so much time with her. I keep getting calls about the bills, and I'm trying to get a job, but I feel so stuck.
Okay, ma'am. I'm glad you called.
Okay, sir. Let's stay on the line and walk through some things.
Thanks.
Okay.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Off the draw, poked down the ice with speed. Reichel scores! What a burst of speed by Lucas Reichel to start the scoring tonight.
You know, that live table is right back to where it was before we started tonight. Reichel gets a loose puck here, and that it's how he flips it to himself. But watch the body right there, that little lean, and then the edge control. I mean, he blows a lot of snow there, right? Because he's changing direction so quickly. He sensed the Kings were a little bit separated right there with their defenseman.
Welcome back to Shawn and Maya in the morning on Sports Zone Chicago. Those clips courtesy of Bally. There's a Blackhawks yesterday, baby. Final game of the season in L.A. Fall to defeat 5-4 in overtime. Well, a team whose season is not over. Could be over tonight, but I don't think so, baby. I don't think so. It's our bullies, man, and I'm excited to have my guy back. I told him, he's like, "You want me to come on Friday?" I'm like, "Only if the Bulls win." And they did it. They did their piece on Wednesday, and you've seen him. He's a good friend of the program. He is host of the Big Red Bus. You can find him on Twitter at CBE Fred for Chicago Bullseye. Fred, guys, just welcome back to Shawn and Maya. Fred Pfeiffer. Fred, what's up, buddy? How are you?
Oh, Shawn Maya, I am living the dream. The beloved Bulls are back in the discourse and discussion on sports radio with you guys. It's awesome to be here. And I got to tell you, I'm so sick of the Bulls' apathy that's been around for the last, I don't know, it seems like a number of years now, but especially in the last 5 months. When you look at this team and you look at a guy like Kobe White and Ayo DeSumo together, a backcourt, both 24 and under, the best NBA backcourt, 24 and under in the league, in my opinion, signed for the next 3 years for a combined $21 million. Just with that fact, there's hope for the future of this org, hope for the future of this team, and I am just so excited about tonight. And I think they're going to win and put a scare in Boston in the upcoming series. So we'll see what happens.
Fred, here's the thing. This has been such a long time coming. I feel like this always a good merger. First of all, anyone who knows me, and I've talked about it, I've never been a Zach LaVine person. I never was. I never felt like he was a fit. I didn't feel like he was a player you could build around. And I also sometimes maybe other people's development was being stifled. We had been talking about Kobe White for, come on, Kobe, you gotta that step up. We were waiting. And now it's happened. Also, it's Sumo who took a step back, when he was doing his bench time and was okay with it. It's like he's stepping up. But the two things I love the most is when they picked up Drummond, everyone was like, I was like, no. I was like, you know what? He can be a good fit when the situation is right. Everything in Vucevic looks like the player we thought we were going to get from Orlando. So it's like, is this an odd, uncanny moment? I'm a roll with it if it is.
Well, I gotta differ with you on one point you made, which is Vucevic. I mean, Vucevic, when we acquired him from Orlando, was shooting a 3 at a 40% rate. He just finished this season shooting at 29%, which is it's hard to describe. You've literally gone from one of the best shooters in the league as a center
yes.
to the worst. And so that's really, to me, unfortunately, put a cap on where this team can go. You can't have a center who can't shoot or can't protect the rim. But everything else you said, I happen to agree with significantly.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was being very specific about that game. I'm sorry. I should have said that game.
Oh, that game? Yeah. Vooch, I mean, in fairness to Vooch.
That game, Vooch, 24 points. I mean, he was looking like what you wanted from him. I mean, it was like, oh, can we get this consistently? So I probably should have been right because we weren't getting it when we first got him, like at all.
Yes, no doubt on that. Like, he's had, I don't want to go into his whole, I think it was a massive mistake to re-sign him for a third year. I want to know the team in the NBA that signed him for that third year, which is going to be problematic for this team as we go forward. But that said, I mean, like, if you look at this past season, you look at the progress that Kobe's made. He's going to be top 3 most improved in the league. Io made a massive return to greatness, I think. And then you look at Caruso having a career year. You look at DeMar playing very good. That's been kind of counterbalanced by, unfortunately, the injuries to Zach LaVine, injuries to Patrick Williams, who are two of their best three-point shooters, and then also, Vucevic's decline. There's an NBA metric for three-point percentage. There's no metric that's more conducive, that shows a greater correlation to team success. If you look at the top 16 teams in the NBA in three-point percentage, they're all playing or playoff teams. 19 out of the top 20 are playing or playoff teams. The Bulls are 20th. The only team that's in the bottom 10, they're all lottery teams who aren't in the top 10 for three-point percentage, with the exception of Orlando Magic, and they're just a stellar defensive team. So, you got to be able to hit the three. The Bulls lost Zach LaVine, who's one of their best three-point shooters. They lost Patrick Williams, and yet they've managed to kind of overcome that with just some stellar years from Io, stellar years from Kobe. So I'm really bullish on this team. Like, I do feel I see a lot of correlations between this team and what happened in 2009. I'm old enough to remember that year very well. Driving around the Chicago area, listening to sports radio, the team, everyone was negative on the Chicago Bulls in 2009. They weren't happy with how Noah was progressing. Everything was negative, and suddenly they get to the 8th seed. They play the first seed Celtics, and they push them to 7 games. Nobody expected that. 2 years later, they're in the Eastern Conference Finals. Now, I'm not saying there's anybody on this roster like Derrick Rose or Joakim Noah, but I am saying that we continue to put a ceiling on Kobe White. And I don't know how many times he has to bust through that ceiling before we finally say, hey, maybe this guy can be really good, an all-star type player.
Well, it's taken him a while, and that was the issue. Like, it's taken him a while, and that was the thing that we were talking about with Andy. Like, you come out after your freshman year, it doesn't matter how good you are. And I mean, first of all, you're not even grown. All right, you're dealing with grown-ass men. You're dealing with guys like Andre Drummond. All right, you're dealing with big guys who've been in the weight room, who've been coached, who've been all-stars. My words are that shattering. My words are that shattering.
Almost knocked over my computer as I said. I'm so excited about this game tonight.
I see. Check your mic. You're a little far away. You sound really far. Yeah. But so it took a while because, I mean, how many times were we saying trade Kobe, or not we, but just the fan base, like, get rid of Kobe. He's nothing. He's horrible. He's a bust. He's this, he's that. And it took time. And, man, we waited. And look at this dude now. I am so proud of him. I really, man, can you imagine him and the finisher, Lauri Markkanen, on the same team on the Bulls right now? Lord have mercy. That would be phenomenal. But I digress.
Yeah. I mean, can you hear me okay? Better?
Yep, you're good.
You're good. Yeah, no, agreed. Lauri Markkanen, we traded him away for nothing, essentially. We have a conditional first-round pick that won't be it's lottery. It's actually lottery protected for the Blazers. It's a real shame, looking back at this roster that the current front office inherited. You look at some of the players on that roster when he took over: Max Strus, Daniel Gafford, Lauri Markkanen. There were some, obviously, Wendell Carter Jr., who's starting for a playoff team in Orlando. Like, there were a lot of good players on that roster, and I think you could also almost make an argument. Kobe White was on that roster. He's probably our best, most rising star outside of DeMar, who's already proven himself. But, so it's a little disappointing. I think that's where I lose a little bit of faith in this current front office. They really haven't, in my opinion, they sacrificed a lot of assets for what? What did we get in return for Gafford? Essentially nothing. What did we get in return for Lauri Markkanen? Essentially nothing. Everything was kind of predicated on that Vooch trade, and that was a massive mistake. But That said, they did also get DeMar DeRozan, who's been, to me, one of the best sign-in trades in the history of this organization. Lonzo is hard to predict that he was going to be out for 2 seasons due to an injury, but when he was here, it was very good. Yeah. But, I think big picture, we just cannot lose. I can't get over the apathy or like listening to the radio, and everybody's talking about the Bears, and rightly so. We should be excited. The Bears have done nothing up until this point. I'm just saying it doesn't take skill to have the worst record in the league, get the first overall pick, turn that into number 9 and make a trade. And then
breathe, Shawn, breathe.
Have the Carolina Panthers be terrible, get the number 1 pick again. Like, great, you've put yourself in this position to be great, but there's still a lot of work to go there. And I kind of feel like there's all this excitement on the Bears, and there's like all this like just apathy and dislike for the Bulls. I just don't get it. Like, I don't understand it.
Okay, as Bulls fans, we look at it this way: we have that spoiled part of being part of the Jordan legacy and era. So there's always going to be an expectation, like, why can't we get there? We're always looking for the next player. So it was like you had Derrick Rose, and it just, hometown kid. We thought this was the next installment of how things were going to move forward, and unfortunately, injury kind of riddled that, and it just didn't turn out like people wanted to. I think it's always getting so close, never being able to kind of get over that hump. And it's like, because we've seen such a mismanagement of the Bulls, because look who owns them. Let's just be honest. We see mismanagement on both sides of the team he owns. I think people just kind of get a little just disenchanted with it. Even with what happened with the management piece at this point, I'm not sure what my takeaway is, because I think part of, and I'm still going to say this, and maybe I'm just being very negative about it, I think everybody was held captive because they thought that Zach LaVine was going to be something different. I believe they thought he was going to be the person they could build around. They let Marvin go. I totally disagreed with it. I was like, no, you should keep him. They made some trades that I just didn't agree with. But I feel like part of what was holding them hostage was a couple things. That LaVine was going to be that player that was going to take him to the next level, put around him what was needed. We didn't know what was going to happen with Ball. That injury was unfortunate because he was a big momentum piece that was lost. So injury has also continued to be an issue with them. Bean has been injured. Ball was injured. Patrick Williams. We keep nothing. Can we get everybody can be seen at one time on the floor, like healthy? And when they did achieve that, it was short-lived. So I think for fans, I just think people go, well, we're not healthy. Even in this game tonight, and I think they'll win too. I agree with you. I look at the fact that I like the bench. It's young. It's scrappy. But the problem is it's not sustainable in a playoff run. We know that. And it's the Celtics, unfortunately. So your starting 5 really have to be present most of the time because you don't have the depth within the bench. There is no bench mob here. There's just a lot of scrappy, good players, but it's not enough when you say to go toe-to-toe and to go the distance. So to me, there's a lot here they have to think about when they move into the offseason. Like, I can't even tell you what they probably think they should do at this point, because you have a lot of good working pieces, but what do you keep and what do you get rid of? And I'm okay if you got rid of him. I have no issue with that. He's not the Euro player that everybody else has. That's for sure. He's an in the paint guy. He's not the, give the mid-range shot. He's not a 3-point person. He's not like those other Euro players that we look at that we just see their games are like, they're big men. Look at Wembanyama. He's 7-footer who dribbles like he's like 5'2". I mean, Vooch is not that European player that other teams have. He doesn't have a mid-range. He doesn't have 3. He's a good in the guy. So if that's what he can do, then that's what you have. So I don't know, Fred, what would you do with this team if you were GM?
With the team as is? Well, I do want to go back to a point you just made, because I happen to agree with you a lot. And I think this is part of the reason for why fans feel this way about the Chicago Bulls. You talked about the injuries. If you look back in the history of this org, let's just look back to the last time the Bears won a playoff game, which was 2011, in the interim between that. The Bulls have been to an Eastern Conference Finals later that year in 2011. They're the only team in the history of the NBA to be tied or winning a playoff series and lose 5 different starters. That happened in 2012. Derrick Rose tore his ACL against the Sixers. Shaquille Noah, everyone forgets, later in that series, severe ankle injury, out for the rest of the season. 2013, Luol Deng went out against the Nets with a severe illness.
Spinal tap.
Yep. 2015, this is someone everyone forgets. When we played the Cavs, we were up 2-1 and Pau Gasol went out. And that was like the change in the series. They could not stop Rose and Gasol in the pick and roll. And no one ever talks about that. They talk about Kyrie Irving's injury. You never hear anyone talk about that. And then 2017, Bulls up 2-0, and they lose Rondo against the Celtics. 5 different players, 5 key starters who went out with injuries in the playoffs. And that is like unheard of in the history of the league. Maybe Golden State when they lost that year where they lost major injuries to Durant, and then they also lost to Klay Thompson. But I think that's kind of created an apathy about the team. Like, this is like a cursed team. There's no way they're going to ever overcome something like that. And you look at it now, look at what's going on here. Caruso's out. Caruso, or he might play, but he's not going to be anywhere near 100%. He's our best defensive perimeter player. He gets hurt by running into his own guy with Drummond. I still can't believe this happened in retrospect. But that said, like, I really think we could make some noise and make the miracle and win a few games in that series against Boston if he's 100% healthy. We have a couple good players on the perimeter that can guard in Caruso and also Ayo that can guard their 2 big wings and Tatum and Brown. So I'm a lot more bullish on the team overall, but I think you kind of touched on just the general frustration that's kind of accumulated about the history of this team, which almost seems like a cursed one.
Yes.
Guys, we're joined by Fred Pfeiffer from the Big Red Bus talking Bulls basketball here on Shawn and Maya in the morning on Sports Zone Chicago. Your thoughts? You know, people have been linking our guy Billy Donovan to the Kentucky job. Your thoughts on him leaning that way? Even though he came back and said, no, I'm here with the Bulls, whatever. But, you know, is this, I mean, we're stuck in NBA hell. We're in purgatory. That's the worst place to be. I don't think we're good enough to.
I don't know about that. Again, well, first of all, Donovan's not leaving. He's not going to Kentucky. I think Pope took the job from BYU, their head coach. And I'm glad. I know you're not a Donovan fan. I think he's one of the better coaches in the league. He's proven it every year. I don't think this team has a ton of talent. I don't think they're great defensively. They were top 10 in the league defensively with really one elite premier player. Vooch is arguably the worst rim defender in the league. It's a miracle that they were top 10 in the league with that guy at center. Everything they do defensively, they have to do drop defense. He limits everything because he can't protect the rim, so you have to suck. Everybody has to come on down to protect the lane, and then that leaves 3-point shooters open. So what he's done on the defensive end with this team, to me, is a miracle. Offensively, there's a lot of critiques you can give about him. I don't like how he doesn't play Drummond enough. I think he goes way too much with Vooch. But that said, he's a good communicator. The team loves him for the most part. The only guy I just don't see the Bulls bringing in a coach who's better than this guy. And so that said, it sounds like you think this team isn't going anywhere. They're stuck in the middle. Again, if Ayo and Kobe, who are combined on a bargain deal, signed for the next 3 years, $21 million, you could do a lot of magic with that. The key is, what are you going to do with Zach LaVine? I happen to believe in Zach LaVine. I think he's an excellent. I know Maya doesn't like Zach LaVine. Yeah. If you look at, go ahead, Maya. Sorry, interrupt.
No, go ahead. Go ahead, sing his praises so I can come out.
At the end of last year, Zach LaVine from the All-Star break till the last game against Miami was a 50-40-90 guy. He was one of the best top 10 efficient offensive scorers in the league. I think we forget that. He got injured this year. I thought when he came back from the injury, I thought he played it very well. He played as a team player, and I agree with you. Yes, he's not what's the best way of putting it? The best, teammate. I don't want to say that because I think he's a good guy. But I do feel like one of these teams, whether the Lakers, Golden State, the Sacramento Kings, I think if Philadelphia loses, one of these teams is going to be willing to take a gamble on Zach LaVine at the age of 29.
I'm going to tell you why. Because to me, Zach LaVine is like Wiggins. Wiggins was exactly like LaVine. Everybody had him as a 1. He was the guy, and he could never seem to get it done. The minute you dropped him on Golden State, and he could be a 2 or a 3 and didn't have to be a 1, the pressure's off. His game, he played at that level, and Golden State just ching ching. Zach LaVine is not a 1. He's not a 1. So he's going to thrive. If you make him a 2 or 3 someplace else and he does to be that guy, that dude, he's going to be good. And you know what? And when he leaves, no one be upset. Because if you take those same numbers and put him on a team where there's other numbers, it looks good and it works. But he's not enough alone. He's just not a 1. And that's one thing that the Bulls have made mistakes with. Like, remember how they kept trying to make Luol Deng like a 1 and he wasn't?
Yeah.
and they put him like down to a 2 or 3, but then they also made him over the benchmark. It was like, boom, magic, position. It worked. Levine is just, I'm not saying he's not talented. I'm not saying the guy's not solid. I'm just saying he's not a 1. And wherever he goes, you make 2 or 3, he's going to shine. And I'm not going to look at it and say, yeah, because the problem is you can't make him a 2 or 3 here because you boosted him up as a 1. So you're going to go get somebody else who's better, and is he going to defer and be okay?
The problem is his contract. He's under contract for an insane amount of money. I offered let's do a sign and trade for Klay Thompson. You sign Klay Thompson for a 1 year, matching Zach's salary with an option on 2 and 3. You can make that trade, sign and trade, because the Golden State Warriors don't want to pay him that much money. I think Kerr from what I heard, likes Levine through his Olympic experience. You have to get creative in moving him. But I'm not for trading Zach LaVine if you have to attach an asset. Like a lot of people are saying you're going to have to attach your number 1 pick to get him off the roster.
No, we've already given
no
him
way.
Enough. And even the thing with Klay Thompson, not the guy he used to be. So even in a trade like that, what you're doing is this sounds so bad. You're getting the cow that's being slightly walking out to pasture, not at pasture yet, but he's walking out the pasture at the point. You're gently moving along with like a little rope and a belt. Ding, 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 ding. Let's go. So no, I don't want that either. I want moves that make sense. Get me something in here. Go find me those Jalen Brunsons. Go find me those Maxis. Go find me somebody like that to put on this team. I don't want to just do a trade to get rid of Zach. I need it to make sense. Because otherwise I feel like you're wasting Io, you're wasting Kobe. So make a move.
Give me a Max Strus.
Yeah.
Oh, we had him. Well, never mind.
We'll talk about stuff. But I'm like, I don't want these like, because we want to get rid of Zach so much, we're going to acquire something that isn't going to make them better. Too much of that, we've done that enough already. So it's like you made a mistake again. So let's figure out who's supposed to be here.
Well said. Well said.
But tonight is good.
Yeah, I'm excited. So your thoughts about tonight? I mean, I think they can win, especially with Jimmy out. I know Alex is probably going to play, like you said, won't be 100%. But I'm looking forward to it. Just to get in the playoffs, and Arturas would have done his job, made it competitive. The Bulls can say next year we made the playoffs. But your thoughts about tonight? I'm looking forward to it. You see, I'm fired up, dude. I got my 1998 shooting jersey on, my brand new Bulls hat. The City Edition hat. Come on, man, I'm ready to go.
Bulls played the Heat 4 times this year, split 2-2.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't tell you a lot because in none of those games, Tyler Hero didn't play in any of those games. Jimmy Butler played in several of them. I mean, he's out for tonight. Rozier's out for tonight. It's going to be a completely different game. I think if the Bulls lose this, it would be catastrophic. They should absolutely win this game. They have the better team as is right now. With the Heat missing Jimmy Butler, I expect them to win this game, and I expect them to go on and win at least 2 games against the Celtics and surprise the world. That's how bullish I am in Kobe White and Io. The only negative is if Vooch comes out and lays a stinker, which he's very capable of doing, and you watch it. Bam Adebayo won't leave the lane. He won't even bother to guard him out there. He'll just own the lane. If Vooch could somehow come out and go, let's 3 for 7 from 3, we'll win this game. If he puts up another 1 for 6, we're going to lose. I think a lot is riding on him and his ability to pull out the bigs.
Well, guys, that's Fred Pfeiffer. Hey, buddy, I appreciate your time, my man. Hey,
love you guys.
See red, baby.
Awesome seeing you.
See red, baby. Hey, I'll be texting you throughout the game. Like, let's go, baby.
Yes.
Hey.
They're winning tonight. Mark my words, they're winning tonight, and Chicago go crazy because get on board. We're gonna scare the heck out of Boston. I guarantee it.
Good. That's wicked pisser. Wicked pisser. I love it. All right, Fred. We'll talk soon, buddy. Thank you.
Take it easy, everybody. Have a great weekend.
Likewise.
Bye-bye.
Guys, that's Fred Pfeiffer from the Big Red Russ at ChicagoBullseye.com. I'm a little excited for tonight's game. I think they can do.
The stars align. Let's be honest. They're missing some key points, especially with you got Kobe White's game definitely beginning to come to that level, which you got to look at. You know that as Miami is looking at the game from against the Hawks, they're like, hey, wow, they're probably like, oh no, Zach was in. Doesn't matter because Kobe played at such a high level. I mean, wasn't that his highest scoring game of his career? So now
it doesn't count.
If he maintains and plays that way, what you're then looking at that point is the way they're going to have to try to contend with him, which is going to make other players more available, Vooch included. It wasn't just that. I mean, Kobe was attacking the lane, hitting the three. He was doing all kinds of things that gave his game so much more dimension than just, shooting threes. So if nothing else, that's a plus when they got to think about how are we going to game plan for this, because this is a player, okay, his star is rising, but his game was solid. So I think this is fantastic. I do agree that Vooch just has to be serviceable, and if you can go ahead and have in the last game, like, I don't know, was it 18 points or something? I don't know what he had. But I'm sorry, how can I not miss this? DeRozan is DeRozan. So that's the other piece of this. So you've got Kobe one side, you got DeRozan on the other. These are two pieces of the puzzle that are not going to be easy to contend for. So, I mean, it's like the game planning it's not one dimensional. And this is the part that I think is going to make it exciting because, Lamar can, who is great at assists just as much as he is attacking the basket. So it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun to watch.
Yeah, it is. And I'm looking forward to it. And,
yeah, he is a player of baseball. He should be on the Sox. I think you're taking a dig on him. Maybe that's why I was going along with it. Yeah. But yeah, he's a good spot up shooter as a 2 or 3. That's all. He's not a 1.
Yeah, no. I think you and I are on the same page there. He's definitely a number 2. You know what he could be? He could be Alshon Jeffrey to the Brandon Marshall. He's a phenomenal number 2 scorer. A phenomenal number 2. And I think he could be an all-star number 2. Just not a number 1. That's it. Just not a number.
Oh, you're trying to blame it did it autocorrect on you? Cornelius? Yes, a cell phone will make you look stupid if you're not careful. AI, be mindful of that.
And Cornelius, you did say something that I agree with. And Maya, we talked about, and you mentioned it, is the way Kobe was scoring.
Yes.
It wasn't just from 3-point line. It wasn't just Steph Curry type. It was very Jalen Brunson-ish, right? Yes, if you chase him off the line, no problem. He's going to drive. He'll pull up from mid-range. He'll take it to the cup. He'll hit it from, 27 feet, 28 feet. His game was on, Euro step in.
Yes.
Loft it up off the glass, over an outstretched defender. I mean, the way his repertoire was on full display the other day.
It was.
Now, if he can do that again, wow, we will be in a real good position to blow this team out, because the way he was getting in the lane and cutting and shooting, and he's getting to the point where you don't know what to do with him. Like, you can't rush him and run at him because he'll go by you, and he finishes in the lane. It's you know what, Maya? I always thought he was 6'3". He's 6'5", 6'6". I always thought he was like 6'3".
I think that's I thought he was. I didn't realize he was that tall either. I mean, either way. I mean, are we talking the hair or?
What is this, Fletch? He's 6'5", 6'9" with the pro.
He looks like Riley, the Boondocks. That's what I always say, from the Boondocks. But no, it's but the thing about it is, we've been having this conversation about Kobe White for 2 to 3 seasons. Hey, we were waiting for the step. And it started. I mean, it started this year. We could see he had some really good games throughout the year, but this was you feel like you just watched a game that player just took that big step forward, the confidence, the ability.
That's what it is, Maya.
It's believe it or not, this is Kobe White's team right now.
Yep, hands down.
This is his team right now. So it's you step up, and if it's your team, play like it's your team. That's just what it is. Play like it's your team. So
the thing that I love about him, Maya, is that he heard all the noise, disregarded all the noise, put his head down and went to work. All right. It really bothered. I shouldn't say bothered me, but there was a lot, the last couple of years, trade him. And it didn't affect him. And to me, that's what I love. Don't worry about the naysayers. Don't worry about anything else. You just know you got to get better. He kept doing him. He kept getting better. And now look what happened. This is so fun, Shorty's like, please help me with my ignorance. Are the Bulls still in a play-in, or are they in the playoffs? No, they're in the play-in. So what happens is this: 7 hosts 8, and 9 hosts 10. All right, for the 7th and 8th spot. Okay, the winner of the 7-8 game is in. They'll be the number 7 seed. So the loser of that game takes the winner of the 9-10. So if you're 9-10, you got to win twice. All right. If you're in a 9-10 game, you got to win twice. So the Bulls won the first one. So if they beat Miami, who lost, then they're in. They'll be the number 8 seed. And if Miami wins, then Miami goes in as the 8th seed. So that's why they're still technically in the play-in. They're not in the play-off. Yeah, King Booker, you're right. Kobe is what Zach was. This is exactly what Zach, pun intended, was supposed to be. His athleticism, his ability to jump, get to the hole, finish, dunk, pull up for mid-range. Like, that's what we wanted Zach and expected him to be, and he just isn't.
But it really gets into the part that people have to just accept about it is legitimately you could have an amazing skill set, but maybe your mentals. Remember what they said: work on your chicken and your mentals. Okay. Some people be looking at the chicken. Okay, they're all about the chicken, right? But the mentals are not there. If the mentals are not there, I just never felt like Zach was a guy. And it's not about being arrogant. It's just stepping up and playing like it's because it was always his team was the thing. And he's never once played like it was his team. I mean, the Rosen came in like, I'm not trying to be the face of the team. You know what I mean? He wanted to make other players better is what it came down to. So Zach he just doesn't have that mental resolve to me, like to be like a one. Like some players have it, some don't. And I don't know if it's something you can teach. Like I have that issue with Patrick Williams. I think he struggles with the idea of not understanding how good he can be and playing at that level. And don't worry about what other people think about you. Don't worry about it. It doesn't matter. So it's just, if you don't have that in you, I don't know where it comes from. And, Rosen worked with a lot of them off season, like, hey, let's get together. He worked with, White. He worked, with Williams. He tried to like help them understand that, like, you want to know who had that step, and I saw it, and it was a love-hate thing when I saw it. So when I always been lukewarm on Jimmy Butler, just a little bit, but talented. Jimmy Butler really, to me, took step, like I'm the big man on campus kind of thing, is when they brought in D Wade for that wasted contract with Chicago. That wasted, like, this, let's just give money away. D Wade,
younger and more athletic.
He was
that year.
Buddies, I really felt like he got in his ear. Yeah, I feel like he got in his ear, and all of a sudden Jimmy just had a whole different demeanor and how he was
swag
playing.
About him.
He got his swag and his game, but then he just started calling people out and being ignorant. But seriously, I felt like he realized he was that guy because that veteran was like, what are you doing? So I don't.
Do you know who the hell you are? You know what you can be?
Yeah. But I think somebody could be in Zach's ear, and I just don't think it's him. He'd be like, okay, yay.
He doesn't have that resolve, Maya. I don't see it in his eye. You look in Jimmy's eyes, like you see it, like Jimmy wanted to. And remember, Jimmy was a defensive guy. So you got that dog in you. If you're a defensive guy, dog in you. It's there. You're not a great defensive player if you don't have that dog in you. And Jimmy had it. And he said, okay, all the effort and determination you put in on defense, just switch that to offense. And he was like, oh, snap. I guess I could.
How Jimmy is like just in his air, his space.
Yeah.
Anytime you wear a blowout and you gonna sweat it out, you confident.
He had to lose a bet, Maya. He had to lose a bet. He had to lose it. He had to have lost the bet.
You knew you was about to sweat that out.
He had to have lost the bet, Maya.
Jermaine Stewart. I'm like, who worked better, Jermaine Stewart, Jimmy Butler? Okay. Anyway, I'm just saying. But I mean, even though sometimes Jimmy does get on my nerves a little bit, I respect him because he steps up, and the other thing is, he was calling people out to challenge him. I'm like, hey, step up. Remember Minnesota?
Look who he's coached under. Remember, he was coached under Tibbs, and he was Tibbs' dude. Like you're the dog. Like you go and attack, but you challenge people, and he did. So he goes to Minnesota, like, stop it, you're being mean. He goes to Philly, stop it, you're being mean. And Pat Riley's like, oh yeah, you come down here. I like that kind of party. I like that kind of attitude.
Bring that heat down here, right? I mean, so it's just like you gotta fit into that team, and I mean, I think eventually I do like. The Heat was a good place for him. I'm like, this is a good destination. The mentality, it works. The people around him, So, but that's what I'm saying. The Bulls, to me, was missing that player that has like that desire, that they're hungry. You just don't see enough of it, and that's the problem. And I feel like Kobe, he's looking at it like that. Like, I want this. He's going in to play with a chip on his shoulder. Like, we win, and he's probably like, even if we got to play the Celtics, and we know that's an uphill battle, and if we win it, wow. But he's going to probably play every game with 100% or more. So, yeah.
Yeah,
So
I love his not just physical development, because I love that, but emotionally. His mentally, he's really, really, really developed. And that is what I love. All right, like you said, all these guys got great skill sets. All these guys, okay? It's what's in between your ears. It's what's here, okay? That literally separates the men from the boys. And Zach doesn't have it. Hell, you're in mental health, so you know, Zach doesn't have it. And we're starting to see Kobe is starting to get Kobe's. Hey, somebody said, "Hey, do you know who the hell you are? Do you know what the hell you can do? Go do it." And he's believing him. And I'm like, and I love to see young players develop and start to gain the confidence in themselves, because you see it as a coach, you see it. Even sometimes as fans, we see it. Like, dude, what could? And for him to finally start to get it, the light went on. Oh,
the light went on. Just the switch was hit. It's on. And sometimes, I hate to say this, you need to clear space. So by not sometimes, because like even though Zach was good and his numbers were great, it wasn't propelling the Bulls forward necessarily. And sometimes a person like that can be a detractor, because people feel like I got to stand behind you, even though I could be as good as you, if not better. So it's like that allowed him not being on the floor, allowed for Kobe to get out of his head and to go and play at that level, because they were really like they have nothing to lose. Same thing with Io. Io took a step back. He was a starter at one point, then had to come off the bench. He did it without complaining. You know what I'm saying? But now it's his time to shine again. He's like, the opportunity has circled back. I get to, even though I need him to go eat. He's like still skinny.
Yeah, he does.
I want to bulk up a little bit more, just a little bit more. But either way, I don't care. It just comes down to, I feel like he's even playing like, we don't have, when you have nothing to lose, that's when you can play like, I hate to say, with a little bit reckless abandonment, because you want to be the upset. You would love to go into Boston. And Fred said 2 games. I'm going to sit with, I think, more like 1. But at least, and I feel like in Chicago, I'm going to give him at least 1 game, at least 1.
Yeah.
Now, once I see how they match up and how it looks, and because my issue I have in this series against Boston is the bench isn't deep enough, even though Green be giving it to him. When he come out on they need to play X gonna give it to you, because he comes out just ready to dig in. Like the bench is real, like they're very like rough and tough, like out scrappy. But it's not enough is the problem. And the 5, that's always the issue. The 5 can't be on the floor and sustain it like that the whole time. So they just don't have enough to substitute in to give others a break to be able to kind of go the distance. I feel like they're intense, and then they start to lose it because they're just, the momentum isn't there because they're tired. They don't have a bench, and that's the only thing that's a downside, is the bench is not good enough.
Yeah, well, luckily they got Javonte Green. I think he could be a big, big factor. I know he was playing the G League, if I'm not mistaken, but he came back last week and a half ago. My man is fresh. He got some he got some fresh legs. He's and I'm really, really liking I'm liking the energy he's bringing. Stacey loves the energy. We know Stacey loves that. There's 5 Javonte Greens out there, and because he does a lot. My only problem with Javonte Green is like, dude, just grow. Just grow like 3 more inches.
Shawn.
Just go 3 more inches, bro, and you're like 6'7", 6'8".
But you're not gonna grow.
That's my only issue with him.
That's it. I mean, but like I said, for instance, I love Dalen Terry. I feel like his development has been there, but not enough. Not enough.
Yes.
But I'm like, I see potential with him. I do. So I'm like,
you know what happened? The glaze came off his eye. The deer in the headlights look is gone. Last year, he was just a deer in the headlights and was like, he was just happy. He was like a cheerleader. Now I'm impressed with where he's going.
But see, the thing is, here's the thing. Everybody at this point is like, you can take the dog off the chain at this point, because this becomes, for all these younger players, like being able to have this playoff experience. This is a thing that for development that changes you. Being able to show up and learn you need to go work on your game, that matchup. I mean, I know you're like, well, they play because they're not going to get that much time, but they're going to get playing time in the playoffs. They are, because they're going to need them. So I like Terry. I think he has so much potential. I like Green. I like Drummond. And when he gets in his his zone, it's great.
That's a grown-ass Mickey Ficky man, dog.
Grown.
That's a big ass.
He's grown. I love it. When I picked him up, I'm like, I love him. I'm like, it's that physicality that they need. He gives you that feeling of 90s basketball a little bit still. Like, you want to go? Let's go. Matter of fact, when he got teed up, When he got teed
You know,
up
there,
in the game.
yeah.
Like, yeah,
There's
let's
an
do it.
aura when there's a guy, there's a big man around, or that you feel that aura of him. Like that's a man's man. Like, dude, I hate to get like bitch slapped by him, dude. His hands got to be so fat. Could you imagine slapping somebody like those?
He could
I know
probably just smash you in the face like that. You'd be like, man, come on, we do it. But yeah, I love his physicality, which I feel some of the most physical teams, ones that do really well in the playoffs. But that physicality is such a 90s thing, and they don't want them to get too aggressive. You know how it is.
Yeah.
But I still say this is going to be a fantastic opportunity for. I feel like they win tonight. Boston becomes your measuring stick for you to really look at how Kobe excels. Because even if, let's say, I don't expect the Bulls to win that series, but let's say he shines and his numbers are like phenomenal, and Io steps up and Terry gets good. I mean, this is what you want to see. No one's looking at like we're going to be Boston. We have to be realistic. We're not going to be Boston, but you have to look at what could you gain from playing Boston in the playoffs is what matters.
Yes. And you're right. Terry's a dude I want to see. Like, all right, listen, homie, I know you're undersized, but but you got length, you got height, you got length. Go out, just go out and play. Go out and play and have a series, kid. All right, do your best and don't even worry about it. We're supposed to lose, so you know what? You got no pressure on you. And I'd love to see him go. I just love to see him go. Yeah, those don't have enough height. No, I agree with you. But I mean, that's why you got to play Vooch and Drummond. But again, Dalen Terry's got those young legs. So we'll see. We'll see how to get how it plays out tonight. But listen, we got to take a quick break. On the other side of the break, we're going to finish up with some Bears talk. People are talking. A lot of people are talking. A lot of phony things are going on. We got some Bears talk. The draft is next Thursday, 6 days away. Holy shnikes. It is about here. So, guys, don't go anywhere, folks. Keep it locked right here. Morning on Sports Zone Chicago.
Hey, it's your boy, the Superback, Shawn Sierra, and be sure to follow Sports Zone Chicago on all social media platforms, on Facebook, Instagram, and our Roku channel. You can find us at Sports Zone Chicago, and on Twitter, we are at Sports Zone Shy. Also, be sure to download our mobile app so you can take Sports Zone Chicago with you on the go.
Yeah, hello. I'm really not sure if this is what you all do, but I really don't have anywhere else to turn.
Hi. I don't even know why I'm calling right now. I'm sorry. My thoughts are going a mile a minute.
My kids are out of state. My buddies from the Army are all gone now. I'm really alone.
I left the service last year. My mom just passed away a few months ago. I miss so much time with her. I keep getting calls about the bills, and I'm trying to get a job, but I feel so stuck.
Okay, ma'am. I'm glad you called.
Okay, sir. Let's stay on the line and walk through some things.
Thanks.
Okay.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
We're looking for a few heroes, mentors, trailblazers, innovators. A passion to change lives. Spark curiosity, open hearts, and awaken minds. Help students answer the question, who am I? This could be your calling, but this is no job. It's the journey of a lifetime. Be a hero. Be a teacher.
The NFC North, the Black and Blue Division. 4 storied teams contending to be king, but there can only be one. We'll be the one with more grit, more attitude, more drive. That foot always on the gas. After all, this is the Motor City, and we are the Lions.
Welcome back to Shawn and Maya in the morning on Sports Zone Chicago. So I wanted that because they got their new alternate jerseys.
Yeah, I was looking at the jerseys. Yeah.
Dude, those are tight.
Oh, the jerseys they're nice. They are.
Those are tight. I was like, I asked Steve, I'm like, Steve, let me I said, give me a little cut because I like those jerseys.
Bears fans
And
have been like, what's happening here? Are we what?
are we in the Detroit thing? Is Don Burr around?
No,
Oh, you don't know
I was looking at the jerseys. I was like, nice. Hey,
the
Bears.
So one of the things that there's this polar, it's called a polar. So here are the jerseys, the new ones. So they got the black jerseys with the blue helmets. I think it looks cool. Remember, this is all Nike. Remember, Nike runs has uniforms for the NFL for all the sports. Baseball, they just shipped them. They just subcontracted it to Fanatics for baseball. That's why there's a big problem. But I digress. Like, I love their alternate jerseys. So I'm really hoping that the Bears, that Nike does something with the Bears. Like there's this one I'm
hoping
trying
that
to
the Bears ownership do something with the Bears. Get a uniform, okay? They can run out there naked. I'd be okay with that. But they need to do
yeah, I
something.
bet you would.
No, they look. I'm not even worried about a uniform right now. What's so funny is when all this was going on and I was doing something and someone's like, they trade Justin Fields. I was like, huh? Because my head has been in a book. So stuff was happening. I was missing it, and I was like, wow. I'm like, oh, Shawn's having a meltdown. I probably should check in.
You should have. Luckily I was in Arizona when it happened, and all the trolls came after me. You don't know shit. I'm like, we won. I'm like, what did you win? Like, what did you win? Like, you had no help, no hand in that decision. You thought one thing, I thought another thing. I'm like, so you didn't win anything. Like, everyone's like, we won. You don't know anything. I'm like, okay, all right.
I don't like the polar bear white on white. I don't like that.
Oh, I love it. I love it.
Really? I don't know.
It's just a different look. It's one we haven't had here.
I guess it's a lot we ain't had here. So, I don't know. I'm still, again, my disenchantment runs so deep with the Bears, and the Sox are right behind them. I mean, they're standing right there next to each other. I am so disgusted with those two teams in Chicago. I'm not even interested. And after they traded Fields, and here's the thing, let me say this, everybody. I wasn't like Team Fields. That's not it. I felt from what I saw, based on what was happening, to deal him means you have no quarterback that can step in and take over. And if you decide to draft, then the issue turns into you've just started all over again. And and my thing is, as much as I was okay initially with Eberflus, how you gonna fire everybody pretty much, and he's got a job? I'm gonna tell you what my eyeball. I'm like, so I'm thinking, like to switch up my teams. Like me and the Vikings are kind of like struggling right now. We're talking about breaking up, and we're talking about breaking up. This is all we've been talking about this whole spring. Like we might have to part ways. And so I met the Chargers at the bar the other day.
Oh, okay.
So
even though they're led by a Michigan guy,
I like Harbaugh. You know that,
but
right?
then again, he is a Chicago Bear too.
I like Harbaugh, even at Michigan. Mad respect for what he did for the program. I don't have a problem. I'm not a Michigan person. I'm a sorry Iowa fan. That's painful to watch all the time. But I wanted Harbaugh so bad in Chicago. I felt like he was the fit. You could have kept Fields. You could have not made the shakeup. To me, this has been about coaching. That's been a big problem. And I was like, go get the guy who can do this. He can work with that type of quarterback. He is a former quarterback. He gets it. It's not that Fields does not have talent. I want Justin Fields to be in Pittsburgh, and I want him to blow the doors off just to prove how inadequate, and polls included, because he made a move. I was like, so you're about to start over. You're hitting the restart button with the same coach. So if they tank it, so what? Does Eberflus now get an extension because now you have a new quarterback that has to probably be trained? And what are they doing, Shawn? What's happening here?
So what they're doing is they bought time, all right, with the new thing. And Ryan Poles did a decent job, but again, I don't agree with it. And just because I like what he's done doesn't mean I agree with all his moves. And I don't agree with it because here's the thing. People always say, well, Chase, one of our former friends said, chase greatness and this, and why not be great? And I'm like, listen, I said, we have what we need. I'm like, teams win. I'm like, people say, well, everyone wants to compare him to Patrick Mahomes. Like, let's not compare him to Patrick Mahomes. Let's not do that to this kid. All right.
Why,
Patrick Mahomes wasn't Patrick Mahomes, all right, when he first came out. Okay. People didn't realize that. I'm like, we have a good
Alex Smith for like what, a season before he actually stepped in and played. So he didn't have to go right from college being the starter. He got a year behind a solid quarterback in Alex Smith.
but he also had weapons. He had Tyreek Hill. He had Travis Kelce. Like there were a whole bunch of things that he had. And one of the things that I would say is like, look, in 1985, arguably the best team, all right, ever. Was Jim McMahon the best quarterback in the NFL?
No,
not by far. I said, but
QB
what did he have? I said, what was Jim McMahon? I said, Jim McMahon was a leader of men. I said,
Oh
look who he had, and look at the leadership skills he had. I said, people literally would run through walls for that man. I said, and that's what you gave up. I said, it's not like Justin Fields isn't our former quarterback. Justin Fields wasn't talented. He just wasn't coached properly, and that's the issue that I have. And people and people would say things. Well, and I love when people say they're like, well, look at Caleb's this, Caleb's that. I was like, his talent has never been the issue. He is extremely talented. Extremely. But it's up there. Can he lead this team? Can he lead this group of grown men?
I'm a flat out tell you this. And you're right about Fields, the coaching. Nagy put his hands on him. That was the first issue. That was a waste. That was for Fields. I'm saying for Fields. That was the first issue.
No, but Nagy was the first. No, he was incompetent in certain things. One of the things that he did do really, really well was his footwork. Because if you watch Justin Fields' footwork, his rookie year, man, his throws were coming out on time. His throws were in rhythm, and his stuff started falling apart when Getsy started having him drop back. With his drop back was just completely off, and I'm like, what are you doing?
There was progression with Lazar. I mean, we saw things that. I mean, that's what I'm saying. We saw things with Fields that worked on a national level. People didn't talk about Fields like he was the problem. That's not how the national people saw the Bears. That's not what they saw. So this will be interesting because I wish him well. I want him to be highly successful. And I'll say this: if Patrick Mahomes had dropped in Chicago, we would have ruined him too.
Yeah, he would. Oh, hell yeah.
We do not have the Midas touch in Chicago. We know how to mess some stuff up and then send it up, and it goes someplace else and does really well. We have that. We just there's something about Chicago that's not right. Ownership here is just that's the first thing. But I'm gonna say this about Williams. It's up here, and I don't care what nobody says. That game he ran and jumped in the stands and jumped in his mother's arms did not work for me. You are a grown man. Losses will happen. I'm trying to figure out what's happening here. I found that very unnerving. And I'm like, the dad knew it was wrong. He knew it. He was like, oh.
You know what?
He had to put a piece of paper up just to hide the fact that he was crying. I was like, whoa. Don't get me wrong. I understand. I get how gut-wrenching and sad it felt to lose to Washington. But you run in the stands and jump in your mom's arms like you are 5? I'm asking like that question what the maturity level is. I'm just like, and if Chicago people dig into him, what's going to happen if the press just lays into him? Because and by the way, performance-wise, even if you looked at like the Bulls and stuff, he wasn't stellar.
No,
I don't know. I wouldn't have given up Fields for Caleb Williams. I'm just going to tell you that flat out. I wouldn't. I still agree. You can still draft if you wanted to. No harm, no foul, right?
No, you couldn't have both on the team because of the personality.
Who said?
It wouldn't have worked. But for me, the thing about him going and crying is this: that's very selfish of you. All right, because you didn't go and celebrate with your parents in the stands when you won. All right, you celebrated all the big victories with your teammates on the field and the locker room. Okay, but then after you lose, then you run. I'm like, your team needs a leader. You are the leader. You were the Heisman Trophy winner the year before. So when things go well, you're at the forefront. When things go bad, you really need to be at the forefront. You need to be the leader for your team because guess what? They're crushed too. You're not the only one who's crushed. You're not the only one who's sad that they lost. Your teammates are lost, and that's where you need to be a leader and say, "Hey, listen, I'm here, guys. I know it sucks. We're gonna suffer through this together." But you went to the stands, and that was my issue, not the passion. I have no problem with you crying after a game. I don't. I have no problem whatsoever. Okay, it's what you did, who you did it with. All right, you're working with these guys. I get it. Your mom and dad, there's nothing that's going to compare to them ever. But they're not working with you. There's not the blood, sweat, and tears you're with your 100 other teammates Okay, you're all working toward a similar goal. That was my issue. That was
Look,
my issue.
look, he couldn't look. Okay, so you could be a mama's boy if you want. But I'm gonna tell you what, you wouldn't have been my son and did that. I'm like, what you want here? Actually, this never would have happened if it was my son. But I'm just saying, I'm like, this makes me. I don't know where he's at mentally, and that's the part I
Yeah.
find a little. I mean, and we get different reports about his personality, so I don't know. That could all just be embellishment. I could care less if the kid paints his nails. Whatever. I don't care. That kind of stuff doesn't matter to me. But I'm just wondering mentally where he's at. And then you hear all these stories, kind of how he is with his teammates. But again, this could all just be rumors. Don't know. Don't know at all. But all I know is technically the Bears have decided to hit a reset button. So my question becomes, if he doesn't work, then what? And what becomes the shelf life for Eberflus at this place? What's the shelf life?
Oh, he's got time. This year's the first year he gets to be truly evaluated. All right, there had been a conversation, Maya. All right, your first year, I'm going to tank. You're a defensive coordinator. This is a dagger to your heart. But I'm going to destroy this defense. I'm going to get rid of all these people. This conversation had to have been had because you're not going to bring in a head coach and not tell him what you're doing to the defense, a defensive guy. So like 2021, all right, or so 2022. Excuse me, 2022. The defense is going to get gutted. Okay, 2023. We're just trying to build it back up. All right, I'll get the defense back. We'll see what we can do with the offense. But 2024 is when we should have more offensive pieces, and we'll truly be able to evaluate you. Excuse me. That's how I feel that whole situation went. And so they did. They did a good job on offense, getting Keenan Allen, getting another tight end, upgrade the running back room with DeAndre Swift. So now you have a chance. And then but the biggest thing for me, Maya, is going against Shane Waldron. That is a dude who's shown that he knows how to call plays. He knows how to develop quarterbacks. And you saw him work with Russell, and then you saw him work with Geno. And again, he got Geno an extension. All right. His coaching helped Geno get an extension. So this is not a guy who's a first-time play caller because remember, Getsy never called plays in the NFL. So you do that with a rookie, a quarterback who's coming off a season where he ran for his life, and got sacked 9 times his first start. Like, that's not a good combination. Now you're getting a guy, so whoever the quarterback is, and in all likelihood looks like Caleb Williams, he's stepping into a great situation. So I think Eberflus has time. Eberflus is going to have at least next year he'll be on the hot seat. This year, like, okay, if they don't do well, he'll be on the hot seat next year. Because like, all right, you got the defense, you're going to be calling the defensive plays at least for the first half of the season before you probably hand them over to Washington. And then this offense is supposed to, you got 2 Pro Bowl receivers, you got 2 good tight ends, upgraded running back. We finally got a center. What's wrong with the offense? So you better fix that in 25, otherwise your ass is out. So I think he's got time. I think he's got this year, and then next year will be. I don't think he gets past 25 if they have 2 bad seasons.
Well, you know what? You can let me know. I'm sure I'll be around. You can let me know how it goes. I'm gonna be living that San Diego life. So I might, I'm not sure. I mean, the Vikings were talking still, but it's real rocky right now. If it wasn't for Justin, I don't know. So I've been getting reliving that San Diego life.
So looking at, and listen, I don't wish any ill will toward Caleb. All right, the kid, this has nothing to do with him. All right, he didn't do anything. You know what I mean? I hope he plays well. I just didn't like how it. I mean,
how it shook out.
DJ Moore said, business is business.
It is.
And it's unfortunate. So, but we'll see. Like, I hope he does well, and I also hope Justin does well wherever he's at. What do you think though next Thursday? What do you think? Because again, most likely he's going to take Caleb. Everything looks at it. What do you think to do with the 9 pick? You go wide receiver, you go offensive tackle, you go edge. What do you think they do with the 9 pick?
I would, it depends on like who's out there in that tackle. You know what I mean? Because to me, this draft has to be about, they're going for a quarterback. Okay, fine. But my thing is like, it has to be, what is our greatest need right now? Like, where's our deficiency? The O-line, you know what I'm saying? They definitely need some shoring up, but you always feel like you can go within the draft, and because O-linemen are not sexy, let's be honest. But, just you can find somebody. So, I feel like you could go for a receiver. You could. I don't know. I don't know
How
because
do
I
you
feel
feel
like
about Braxton Jones? Because that's pretty much the only guy we got to deal with. I mean, you're probably talking. We got a center, and you're not going to draft. I mean, we have a center, plus you're not going to draft a center that high. And there's no way, not with the number 9 pick. So we got our 2 guards are healthy. All right, for now, Tevin Jenkins and Nate Davis. All right, you got a stud at the right tackle. Okay, in Darnell Wright. So you got the center position. So only thing they're talking about is the left tackle. And I think, how do you feel about Braxton Jones? Braxton Jones improved a lot from year 1 to year 2 last year.
You saw a lot of step up. You did. So it's just like, I'm going to have to, I haven't, let me be honest, I haven't that much time looking at any of that because my face has been in the book. So with that being said, I'm going to actually have to like do my homework and kind of look at what's there and what the Bears need necessarily. So when we do the draft show, I'll be ready to chat these things at that time. But right now, I am not. So I don't know. I honestly just don't know. The quarterback thing is a no-brainer. The other pieces, I got to really go back and pay attention to things before I can say this sounds like a more solid move based on what's in the draft right now and what they can pull out. So,
man, 2 hours has come and gone. Holy shnikes. I want to thank our guests, Annie Costabile from the Chicago Sun-Times coming on talking to Chicago Sky with us, and our guy Fred Pfeiffer from ChicagoBullseye.com talking Bulls basketball with us. And it was always great to see my girl Maya coming in and dropping knowledge on us, baby. I love it. Dropping knowledge on you fools. Hey, listen, guys, we had a phenomenal show. Have a phenomenal weekend, guys. I'll be back today at 3:00 with Nomad. We're doing our daily Bears talk today. Looking forward to it. We can continue talking the number 9 pick. So make sure that you tune in then, guys. Have a phenomenal weekend. It's gonna be a little nippy in the shy. It's gonna be sunny. Have a good weekend. Reach out to somebody that you haven't talked to in a minute. Put a smile on. Be the reason somebody smiles today or this whole weekend. All right. So for everyone here at Sports Zone Chicago, I'm your boy, the Superback, Shawn Sierra. She is
Maya Kai, the Sports Chica.
Guys, we'll see you on Sunday. This will be replayed tonight at 6:00, so you can go back and check it out if you missed it. So for everyone here at Sports Zone Chicago, we out.